Well, you can frost them, sprinkle them, even fill them. There's no wrong way to make a donut tasty. And today, the treat is being celebrated all over and in Portland. One of the best places for donuts. It's National Doughnut Day.
And while many of us are going to eat a donut, or maybe 2 or 4 today, the Salvation Army is using the day to give back. And joining us here in studio is Major Bob Lloyd. He's the Portland Metro Coordinator of the Salvation Army Cascade Division. Thanks for joining us.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here, especially on the 84th Annual Donut Day.
Yeah, keeping the tradition going. I didn't realize how much the Salvation Army has a connection to National Doughnut Day.
Well, that's right. Actually, back in 1917, our national commander spoke to General Pershing, leader of the Expeditionary Forces, and sent 250 ordained clergy women to go to the frontline troops in France and to mother the troops. And while they were there, they were trying to help the troops feel at home and comfortable, with very few supplies. So at one point in time, some of those Salvation Army lassies, as they were called, just built a fire, used some U.S. Army steel pot helmets, some flour, lard, sugar, and started making donuts. And they were so popular that the troops started writing songs about it. And after World War I, the Salvation Army became much more endeared to the public. Most importantly, those soldiers came back loving donuts, and here we are 84 years later.
Oh, that's so significant. So how are you helping people celebrate National Donut Day this year?
Well, today we're actually visiting a lot of our first responders and providing them donuts and expressing our appreciation. We're adding donuts to all of our food distribution throughout the metro area. And right now, we're getting ready to serve people again downtown at 2nd and Burnside, but we're adding donuts to all of that. But we just like to remind people that the Salvation Army is here, been in Portland over 100 years, and we're still just quietly going about doing a lot of great work.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, a donut can be kind of symbolic of a lot of the things that you're able to do through the Salvation Army's mission, right? You're just kind of bringing that comfort and that care when people need it.
Exactly, that comfort and care that we provided the troops in World War I in the trenches, we're still doing all these years later in very practical ways throughout our community.
Yeah, tell us more about what the Salvation Army does.
Well, yeah, the Salvation Army has a veterans and family residential program in Beaverton. We have a large domestic violence program that's very robust. We're providing food to the homeless people. We have a facility down at 2nd and Burnside where we're housing anyone who identifies as a female. And we also have a number of community centers throughout Portland where we have food pantries, and so we're providing rent, utility assistance, just doing all that we can. Right now, we're gearing up for summer camp. Now that we've come out of the pandemic, we're getting our camp going again, and we have 7 camp sessions all lined up, and we're trying to find children, trying to find camp counselors, and we're getting ready to have a lot of fun this summer.
It's been such a tough couple of years for so many people. How has some of the ways in which you serve people here changed in this pandemic?
Well, during the pandemic, we had to do more remote and kind of virtual assistance. We provide about 5,000 toys at Christmas, and we created a drive-through process so people didn't have to get out of their cars. Early days of the pandemic, we did a very large food distribution at Lloyd Center, Clackamas Mall, and we had people, again, just driving up, and we would serve them in their cars. So as we come out of the pandemic, I think we have a little bit more robust opportunities online for people to apply for assistance. So we've learned a lot of things through the pandemic, and although we're anxious to come out of it and start helping people in ways that are more practical today, we did learn a lot, and I think we've evolved a lot through those pandemic years.
Anybody who's watching right now, how can they help you out?
Well, they can always go to salvationarmy.org, and they can take a look at our website that I know you guys will be posting, and they can see how they can help us and how they can request assistance.
Yeah, well, Major Bob Lloyd, the Portland Metro Coordinator for the Salvation Army, great to have you with us on National Donut Day, and you were so kind to bring some donuts in for all of us. I've been saving my coffee to enjoy a donut with it. So
at the very least, that smell of sugar wafting through the air will lift you up this morning.
No better way to start the day.
Definitely so.
Yeah, go grab a donut and think of the Salvation Army when you do it.
And of course, as you mentioned, we'll post this interview along with everything we discussed in the AM Extra section on KOIN.com.